think people realize just how dominant these beasts are. Meet the saltwater crocodile. First off, it's the largest crocodile in the world, getting up to 23 feet long and 2,200 pounds. That's the weight of an SUV and the length of a limousine. They also have a 5,000 pound bite force. That's half the bite force of a T-Rex. But the crazy thing about these dinosaurs goes beyond their size and strength. They have these little nodes that run all the way across their body. Those are basically motion detectors. And they could detect a heartbeat from a kilometer away. Not to mention, they have excellent eyes, better ears than humans, and directional smelling, so they can smell which direction a scent is coming from. And the worst part is they're basically invisible. In other words, Godzilla over here has got it all. Like, that's the final boss. Moral of the story? This is what the top of the food chain looks like. Oh, that was dumb. That's like the last bird in the world you ever want to mess with. Meet the golden eagle. They're considered by many to be the perfect hunter. And honestly, it makes sense. First off, they're huge. They have a 7-foot wingspan. Imagine Shaquille O'Neal sideways. There you go. They also have telescopic vision, like a telescope. They can see a mouse from 2 miles away. And once they spot their prey, that's when the real show begins. The eagle will proceed to dive bomb at over 200 miles an hour, which makes them the second fastest creature in the world, and that's barely behind the peregrine falcon. And then they grab their prey with the strongest grip strength of any eagle in the world. Almost 800 pounds per square inch. That's 10 times the grip strength of a human. Oh, and this is what they're squeezing with. 3-inch talons. Moral of the story, remember, make good decisions, not bad decisions. That is a one-way ticket to meeting your maker. Meet the cassowary. You can only find them in northern Australia. And these walking middle fingers are regarded as the most dangerous bird in the world. I'm not even joking. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records, and I'll tell you why. First off, they're extremely aggressive and territorial. They will fight you just for existing too close to them. They're also the perfect size to be destructive. They stand 6 foot tall and 150 pounds, so they're big enough to have power, but small enough to jump up with both feet like a chicken and bicycle kick you into oblivion. I mean, this guy's defending himself with a riot shield, but I don't blame him because this is what they're kicking with. Those are 5-inch talons. You're gonna tell me that's not the foot of a dinosaur? Oh, speaking of feet, they can also run 31 miles an hour, which is faster than any human on the planet, so there's also that. Moral of the story, if you ever see a cassowary, don't get close enough that it starts barking at you. Oh, it's not just scratching its butt. It's taking care of its most important asset. Meet the wombat. They're only found in Australia, and most people know them for the fact that their poop is cube-shaped, which is true, and they stack it and make forts out of their poop. Gross. But what you don't know is wombats have an ultimate defense mechanism. Their butt. I'm not joking. That's the most dangerous butt in the world. They have plates running all across their backside, which makes their butt hard like concrete. It's actually the hardest butt in the animal kingdom. Flex. And when a predator is chasing them, they run straight for their burrow. And they go in head first with only their butt showing. And basically, they leave a little gap. That way, the predator will try to squeeze in and get to the head. And at that moment, the wombat will crush their skull with its butt. Absolute buns of steel. I thought I've seen it all. Getting twerked to death? Pfft, that's a new one. Moral of the story, remember these wise words from Finding Nemo. Don't touch the button. It may be small, but that is not a shark you want to mess with. Meet the spiny dogfish. It's a really aggressive shark that gets up to about 4 feet long, which is not that impressive until you find out that they hunt in packs. Big packs too. We're talking groups of up to 2,000 sharks. That's more members than most schools of piranhas. And they just swim as a wall and eat everything in their path. But that's not even the craziest thing about this shark. If you notice, underneath their dorsal fins, they have spines. Well, those spines are venomous, making this shark the only venomous shark in the world. And a sting from one of these is said to be excruciating pain. That's the last thing we need, is pack hunting venomous sharks. Poseidon. Come get your friends. Moral of the story, if anybody ever tells you they've been stung by a shark, they're not crazy. It happened.
That's so funny.
I don't care how scared you are of clowns, that's the scariest laugh in the world. Meet the spotted hyena. It's the largest hyena in the world, getting up to 150 pounds. And that's just one of them. Only problem is they don't travel by themselves. They travel in groups called clans of up to 100 members. Do you know what that many hyenas can do? Let me remind you. First off, they can run 37 miles an hour. For 3 miles. They just chase animals until they're exhausted and have no energy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start working on my cardio. They also have a 1,200 pound bite force. That's stronger than a lion's bite force. That's strong enough to break bones. And the entire time they're hunting, they're laughing. They laugh when they're threatened, when they're angry, or when they're getting ready to feast. So it's kind of like, ha 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 ha, you're gonna die, ha ha ha. If that ain't the most villain thing you've ever heard, I don't know what is. Moral of the story, they got it all, including a sense of humor. There's only one animal that you feed bowls of blood. Meet the vampire bat. It's one of the most unique animals in the world. First off, they can walk, like you saw in that opening clip. They can also run and jump. They're the only bat that can. On top of that, a lot of people think bats are blind, but that's not the case. Dracula over here has excellent vision, even better than a human. And they can smell in infrared. They can smell heat. That's a superpower. And they use that superpower specifically to find blood. It's the only thing they consume, hence the name vampire bat. And this is where things get interesting. Basically, what they do is they insert a bite with those razor sharp teeth. And once they do, they mix their saliva into the blood. And their saliva contains a chemical called draculin, which first off prevents the wound from healing, and second, thins out the blood so it pours out faster. That sounds like the plot of a horror movie. Moral of the story? Vampires are real. They're just smaller than they are in the movie. When they say king of the jungle, that's the lion they're talking about. Meet the Barbary lion. First off, these big old kitties get up to 660 pounds, making them the largest lion that has ever existed. That's the size of a grizzly bear, but in a cat. You'll also notice that they have this crazy long mane that goes all the way down to their back legs. That gives them an extra layer of protection around their neck and their body, which are the vulnerable parts. Oh, and their bite force is over 1,000 pounds per square inch. But what do you expect? I mean, these were the lions that were competing with gladiators. So why have you never seen one? Well, that's because they went extinct in the wild. This photo is from the 1950s, and it was the last sighting of a wild Barbary lion. There's only a few of them left in the world, and they're all in captivity. And because of that, we don't really know anything else about them. Moral of the story, if you ever see a Barbary lion, you're really lucky. Or unlucky. Run. Trust me, you might want to listen to your buddy. And run. Meet the leopard seal. These bad boys are undoubtedly the most dangerous seal in the world. In fact, they're the second most dangerous animal in the Antarctic region. And that's only behind the orca. First off, they're humongous. They get up to 12 feet long and 1,200 pounds. And they're fully carnivorous, which is kind of obvious considering their mouth is filled with daggers. They'll eat anything in their path. We're talking other seals, fish, squid, penguins, even a human. It's already happened, true story. Oh, and just in case you find yourself in water with them, they can also swim 25 miles an hour. So you're not getting away. It's basically a torpedo with teeth. Moral of the story, if Happy Feet has taught you anything, it should be never get too close to a leopard seal.
Fish out of water. Bird. I'm done.
Fish can fly. When did we get this update? Meet the flying fish. Yes, it's actually a fish with wings. They're actually really common and they're found all over the ocean. And they literally just jump out of the water and fly for up to 1,300 feet. That's more than 4 football fields. That's longer than the flight of the first airplane. Talk about living the best of both worlds. However, this might sound crazy, but this is more of a curse than a blessing. Double the turf means double the predators. These poor little fish get hunted by bigger fish all the time in the ocean. So usually they'll use their flying abilities to escape predators. And then they're in the bird's turf. Birds will literally wait for flying fish to take flight. And as soon as they do, the bird just picks them off. Nature just gave them the middle finger. In other words, that's not a win-win. That's a lose-lose. Moral of the story, remember, having more doesn't always mean better.